Good evening. Welcome to the Monday, September 27th, Lebanon Board of Works meeting. Our first order of business will be the Pledge of Allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All right, with that, we'll move on to the roll call members. Clerk, call the roll, please.
Mayor Gentry.
Present.
Becky McClure.
Present.
Bill Stoner.
Present.
Dick Robertson.
Present.
Alan Milburn.
Present.
Thank you.
Okay, with that, we'll move on to the approval of the minutes from our previous meeting. Are there any changes to the minutes? Okay, we'll entertain a motion to approve.
Motion we approve the minutes.
Motion to approve, is there a second?
Second.
Motion and a second. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? All right, those minutes are approved. I do know we're opening some bids tonight. We probably have some visitors in the audience for that. So thought I do I have consent from the board to take the agenda out of order? Consent? Okay. So with that, I'll move on to new business, and the first item is the open bid, open bid announcement, so for the Memorial Park Lighting Project. So go ahead, John, if you want to introduce this, what we're doing here. And
Yes, we advertised, I believe we received 5 bids in today at the clerk's office before 3 o'clock. Sealed bids, and he will open them and review.
okay.
So the first bid is from Solar Electric Turbine Company, LLC, in the amount of $292,533.
Who was that again? Solar?
Solar Electric Turbine Company, LLC.
292 what?
533.
Yes, 292,533. Yep. Okay. Second bid is from ATEC Inc., and the amount of the bid is $327,700. Third bid received is from R&M Electric Inc., and the bid amount is $393,850. Fourth bid is from Houston Electric in the amount of $436,700. And finally, the last bid is from the Hoosier Company, Inc., in the amount of $445,465.30.
That was Hoosier Inc.
That is the Hoosier Company, Inc.
Okay, bids have been opened. We'll take those under advisement and either, and move forward, and we'll award or determine how to go forward at our next meeting, so.
Thank you.
Okay. Okay, with that, I'll return to our normal agenda. First up will be department head reports, so Police Department, Chief Morgan. Okay, nobody left?
Good evening, board members. Since our last meeting, the Lebanon Police Department has responded to 623 calls for service. A total of 29 people were arrested for the following crimes: 6 for operating while intoxicated, 3 were wanted on a warrant, 6 for possession of meth, 3 for possession of marijuana, 2 for invasion of privacy, 1 for public intoxication, 3 for domestic battery, 2 for neglect of a dependent, 1 for sexual misconduct with a minor, and 2 for theft. In that same time frame, 14 handgun permits were sent off to the state for final approval. Since our last meeting, Jackson Bland has graduated from the Indiana Law Enforcement Academy and is in phase 2 of the field training program. There are 5 phases of the training, and we're hoping to get him done by the end of December and out on the road working. Officer Carlson was able to attend the Gunsight 150 class. He was able to do that for free since LPD hosted the class at our range. Then Sergeant Knox and Sergeant Williamson completed their Axon Taser Instructor Recertification course. With this course, that allows them to certify all the other officers to carry their tasers. That's all I have.
Thank you, Chief. Any questions for Chief from the board?
One, Chief, I know you don't know the real answer to this, but what do you think the monthly average is for gun permits that we've issued this year so far? Just a ballpark?
I'd say monthly, probably 40.
Okay.
That's a guess.
Yeah,
I mean,
yeah.
I can get the exact numbers for you.
Yeah, I was just curious.
Okay.
Okay.
I'll have them. I'll email them
Okay.
to everybody.
Thank you,
Okay,
Chief.
thanks.
Any other questions from the board?
Nope.
Any questions from the public? Okay. Thank you, sir. Next up, Fire Department, Chief Batts.
Good evening, everyone. Since the last Board of Public Works and Safety meeting, Lebanon Fire has made 135 emergency calls of service, logged 264 training hours, performed 18 commercial pre-plans, and completed 16 commercial inspections. Last week, and finishing up this Friday, LFD, along with Whitestown and the Zionsville Fire Departments, participated in live fire training at the Boone County Training Tower. The training focused on basement fires and vent enter, isolate, search. This is a technique where firefighters go in a second or third floor and do a quick search, isolating the fire to one room and removing the victim. This was great training. This was organized by the Zionsville Fire Department, and we were very happy to participate. Currently, we have a promotional process for the rank of lieutenant. Letters of intent were due today by 4 o'clock. We have 9 members on the department participating in the process. We've contracted with Elite Public Safety, and they are going to implement the testing procedures. And starting today, probationary firefighter Kyle Plummer started his 40-hour basic. We're treating Kyle as a lateral transfer. He was a member of the Gallatin Fire Department just north of Nashville in Tennessee. He has a 400-hour state-accredited academy under his belt. So we're going to bring him in with a 40-hour basic and then get him on shift if everything goes well with his basic training. Kyle is a great asset to the department, and we're hoping to get him scheduled along with 2 other new hires for a swearing-in ceremony later on in October. And that's all I have for this evening.
Thank you, Chief. Any questions for the board for Chief? Any questions from the public? Okay. Thank you, sir. Next up, Parks and Recreation, John Messenger.
Good evening again. Our Fall Pickleball League is wrapping up within the next 2 weeks, and we had a good turnout. We are currently taking registration for our Fall Pickleball Doubles Tournament on Saturday, October 9th. Cost is $30 per team, and registration closes October 6th. The Civil War Re-Enactment was held in Memorial Park over the weekend and had a great turnout, beautiful weather. I'm sure those cannons woke everybody up, and I'm sorry, yeah. They had a few more this year, but the turnout was about the same as in past years. Thanks to all the volunteers who make it a very successful event. Pumpkins in the Park will be held this year on Saturday, October 23rd. The event will be from 11 to 2 p.m. and will be held in Memorial Park. Come out to enjoy hay rides, kettle corn, yard games, s'mores, and pumpkin painting. Thank you to our sponsors, Lebanon IGA and the Farmers Bank, for helping us with that. We have removed and replaced several sections of the concrete walks on the southwest side along the fitness features in Memorial Park. We have one more section, which is 5 or 6 different places to complete. We've also replaced approximately 20 yards of concrete in the water park, so this weather's been perfect for that. Unfortunately, concrete is 3 weeks out at delivery time, so it'll be a couple more weeks before we get this next batch done, and that'll we'll complete all the projects there. The splash pad is now closed for the season. That'll allow us to complete maintenance projects and repairs for next year. Same thing with the water park. We had to do quite a few repairs, but the weather's kind of changed other than today and tomorrow. That 50 degree is not splash pad weather, I don't think. Our maintenance crew is going to roll the lawn, aerate, fertilize, and applying weed control in the next couple of weeks, as well as planting trees. They also are working on replacing plant material downtown and preparing beds for winter. That's what we have.
Okay, thank you, John. Any questions for John from the board? Any questions for the public? Thanks, sir. Next up, Engineering Department, Kim Krillick.
Thank you. Engineering report for tonight. A few projects going on around the city, not the smallest of which is our pavement resurfacing program. We're essentially done. We've got all of our surface down, but we've still got some striping to do and casting adjustments. So that'll be happening in the next couple of weeks as the contractor wraps up that project. Also keep an eye out. We should be hearing about our community crossing grant award that will be used for next year's program anytime. It's usually awarded sometime in early October. So we're waiting to see that. Other projects around the city, the Whit Road Bridge. If you haven't already heard, utility relocations have caused us to delay the start of that project. Really to the point where we were still a week or two away from starting it, and unfortunately that would put us to paving into December, and that's just too close for our comfort at this point. So due to those delays and utility relocations, we've decided to postpone the project till next year, and we've already talked to the contractor about extending that project to starting June 1st, wrapping up by the 1st of August. Still a 45-day closure, still a full closure, starting in June, just after school lets out, and that fits well into the contractor's availability and schedule. So we're moving forward on that note. Other bridge projects, the Elmwood Bridge, due to the delays on the Whit Road Bridge, we're originally looking to construct Elmwood next year. We'll probably push that off a year just to so that we're not trying to do two bridges at the same time. Other projects, Grant Street is the next major project that we're moving towards. Keep in mind the Grant Street letting is scheduled for March of next year. Construction starting sometime probably around the 1st of May. So we're excited to move that forward. Keep in mind that is a federal aid project. Later in the meeting, I will be asking for your permission to issue an RFP for construction inspection services on that, getting those things teed up for the NDOT letting process. Active living projects. Wanted to talk a little bit about those. Essentially for the year, we have expanded all of our cost share money, so the sidewalk cost share program that residents can participate in to partner with the city on replacement of sidewalks. That money is all gone. I think we had one application trickle in. We'll just put them on the list for next year and move that forward. But excited to see that we spent all the money. Also want to talk about maybe something just a little different that we did this year. Can I share the screen? So one of the things we did, this is 618 Henry Street. They participated in the program. One of the things we did is we said, if you want to participate in the program and you currently have this situation where you're parking in what should be our tree lawn, we want to restore that tree lawn. So just got some before and after pictures that I think are really powerful and really show how much this can go to improving the quality of life. So that's obviously we didn't have the foresight to think about before photos before, so we're going back to Google Earth. But this is the after. You can see this homeowner has invested quite a bit in fixing up that piece of property, and I think restoring the grass and the tree lawn and the new sidewalk just adds to the quality of that home and that neighborhood. Here's another one. This is again, sorry for the before photos. This is a Google Street View image of 400 East Washington Street. This is the corner of Washington and Park. That's the before, and here it is after. You can see this has just been seeded for a couple of weeks, but the grass is growing in. So we're really excited to get more cars off the street, to get that tree lawn back. We think it really adds to the neighborhood. So those are just a couple of the ones that we did this year, but we will continue that program. We can stop sharing now. We're also excited next year, if the budget that we put forward ends up coming to fruition, we will be rolling out a tree replacement cost share program. So projects like this, or any home for that matter, could partner with the city to see street trees going back in. Again, all efforts to improve the quality of life and improve the atmosphere for pedestrians walking down the street. It also, I would say, helps to slow traffic down. It also helps with energy costs for homes. Granted, it takes a little while for those trees to grow up and shade homes, but eventually that's what we'd like to see. So we're excited for those active living projects to move forward. On similar projects, the Big Four Trail project, remind everyone that our public open house for the Big Four Trail is October 14th. It'll be right behind us in the workrooms that evening, 7 p.m. And we've invited everybody that lives along the trail or owns property along the trail to come in and just see what we have planned. And we are scheduled to bid that project later on in the month of October, getting ready for spring of 2022 construction. Other projects coming down the pipeline at everybody that we want to be aware of is the Fordyce Street project. We put that on hold to move the Grant Street project into its line, ahead of that project in the line of projects. Boy, I said projects a lot in that sentence, didn't I? So we have delayed Fordyce. That would probably be now a 2023 or possibly 2024 project, which will all depend on scheduling and funding and things of that nature still to be worked out. But the reason I'm really talking about tonight is that we are scheduled to have a public open house. We will be inviting neighbors. Those invites have not went out yet. We've just put this on the calendar, October 20th. In the Herman B. Wells Community Room at the high school. The reason we're doing it at the high school is we are partnering with the high school on this open house meeting. We want to give residents along that corridor the chance to understand what our road projects are going to look like, and the school would like to discuss the future of their property at the corner of John Bart Road and Fordyce, immediately adjacent to our road project. So if you live in that area or just curious what's happening, put that on your calendars. It's 6 p.m. on October 20th in the Herman B. Wells room at the high school. We'll have extensive updates on the road projects as well as updates from the school on what their plans are. Then just some updates, some data from our inspection department. Between the time period of September 6th and September 24th, we conducted 23 SWIP inspections. We conducted 12 right-of-way inspections, 4 complaints, 1 illicit discharge inspection, and we resolved 1 open illicit discharge complaint. So that is good news. Project news from around the city, Arbor Meadows Section 3, surface is complete. We're just waiting on some common area walks that the developer needs to install, and then we can move right into the final platting and bonding of that project, which already has conditional approvals from this body. Jumping across 39 to the Sunbrook projects, Phase 2, we're getting ready to asphalt surface the streets. We're well into home construction in that phase. Phase 3, they are diligently working to try to get that surfaced this year, but the window is quickly closing on them. The next major milestone would be the completion of the storm sewer. They've already done the relocation of the legal drain. They've already regraded and reseeded the pond banks, and they've completed the sanitary sewer. So basically they're at storm sewers and then prepping subgrade for street paving, and it is their intention to get that section paved this year and open for home construction next year. Across 250 North to the Villas. Village Section 1 is just in the home construction phase. Village Section 2, sanitary sewers are now complete. They're beginning to work on storm sewers, and that will most likely be for spring pavement next year. Cedar Ridge development on the southeast side of town along Fordyce Road. All the tree clearing is complete. You've probably seen them working on the off-site sanitary sewer that runs across Sanitary United Methodist Church. They are getting ready to cross Fordyce Road, which will be up for your consideration later, but they have asked for permission to completely close that, and they would have our support on that. The sewers are so deep, it's not feasible that they can keep the road open while they're working. It's not safe. Let's see, Gateway Marketplace, this is exciting, Lot 4. We had a pre-construction meeting this morning, and I was told by the developer that we can now say they're excited to welcome a Dunkin' Donuts into that location as soon as construction can be completed. Look for that sometime next spring. Let's see, business park projects, no real changes there, and other projects around the city, the Key Car Wash, Autumn Trace, Airstream, Pratt Storage, really no change at all on any of those, except for I would deem Pratt Storage 100% complete at this point. So that's all I have.
Okay, and Kevin, any questions for Kevin from the board? Go, Dick.
Kevin, can you have the picture of Park on Washington Street brought up again?
Yeah, I think I can. Unfortunately, I went to sleep here, so let's see how I can make that connection. I have to ask for the There we go. Not smart enough to realize it's on the screen. One second. Park in Washington.
Yeah.
There we go.
Did you guys think about maybe putting a curb down through there in front of that residence like we do on Busby Street?
We did. Unfortunately, it wasn't something that we could do with the cost share program. It's something we would like to see the cost share program expanded. Right now, the program just includes sidewalks. Unfortunately, obviously, when we create curbs, we create a lot of issues with drainage and making sure we can direct that water to someplace where it will properly drain.
Yeah, I don't think we've got a drain down here.
We don't have one in that immediate vicinity. I think we do just around the corner on Washington Street.
Yeah.
But,
And we'd probably need to do a whole street versus just one home, right? Because it could kind of flood out the neighbor if they don't,
Yeah.
right?
I mean, if we want to talk about capital projects, I'd love to see us start looking at re-curbing whole
Exactly.
blocks of streets, because I think the
Exactly.
mayor's right. Doing one house at a time, I would caution us against doing one at a time in terms of curbs.
No, I understand.
I think we
Yeah.
ought to look at a block at a time.
I see a lot,
I do think the Busby Street kind of experiment, if you want to call it that, has been very
I
successful.
see a lot of curb
And
that
it's-
I'd like to see us replace.
Oh, me too, me too. Yeah, and Busby Street, if you've not driven down Busby Street lately, we did that project with the East Street project. It was kind of a test pilot project to do that glue-down curb, and it's been through over 2 winters now, and it's held up really well to snowplows, to delivery trucks, everything that life throws at curbs, and I'm pretty pleased with the performance of that. So it's definitely something we want to consider, especially when you consider, full-blown replacement curb is $30 a foot, and we did that for, I think, around $9 a foot, so our money could stretch a lot further. It's not a fix-all because it does create some drainage issues that we have to work through, but generally speaking, it's worked out really well in that application. So,
Yeah, I see a lot of road curb that looks like we ought to just go in there and put a whole new curb back in there.
not a bad idea.
What I can think of is like the Brennanwood area is a pretty bad area, so,
Yes.
okay.
Any other questions for Kevin from the board? Any questions for the public? Yep, thanks, sir. Next is Planning Department, Ben Bontrager.
Evening, board members. Planning Department report for 9/27. We did complete 25 additional building inspections and issued 40 permits. Happy to say that 2 of those were new single-family home permits, so we are seeing some of that picking back up again. Not real strongly just yet, because I know there's still issues with materials. I think the latest I heard is that they're having trouble getting windows now, so they're still dealing with supply issues in that industry, but we are seeing some activity there. On code enforcement side, again, continue to see a lot of activity there, although now that we're getting to fall, you're seeing a lot less of the weeds and grass complaints and things like that, because stuff's not growing anymore, but still see a lot of activity there. In terms of the development side, we are still seeing a lot of interest in the Lebanon market. We have right now a primary plat application that's been filed for a neighborhood called Liberty Village by Arbor Homes, and it's up on the northeast side of town, actually east of Auburn Meadows. There was kind of a leftover piece that I think was originally intended to be part of Auburn Meadows at one point, but now they're coming in with a primary plat for a residential neighborhood up there. And then actually there's an annexation that'll be on the council's agenda tonight on the north side of town in the area of State Road 39 and 300 North. This is for Beezer Homes. They're looking at doing a development up there on the north side, single-family homes. So still a lot of interest in terms of residential development, and it's continuing to see that moving forward. Kevin did get a chance to announce the Dunkin' Donuts. I'm also happy to announce that the Brakeman Building project with Forza Development on South State Road 39, that project has finally reached closing. And actually, I just had a conversation with one of their VPs today, and we're just kind of putting some final dots on I's and crosses on T's, and hoping to get start getting a schedule in terms of demolition and construction on that project. They have to make their way through the state process and things like that. We're hoping maybe early spring to see some significant activity on the construction side, and hopefully do a little bit of a groundbreaking ceremony yet this fall before it gets a little too cold for that. But excited to see that project move forward. If some of you may recall that initially that project started initially when the Redevelopment Commission purchased that property in December of 2017. So we're going on 4 years since we really started activity on that site. So happy to see that moving forward. And that's all I've got.
Thank you, Ben. Any questions for Ben from the board? Any questions from the public? Okay, thanks, sir. Next is Street and Stormwater Department, Dave Newell.
How's everybody doing? Good. We've been pretty busy mowing easements, vacant lots, and like Ben kind of mentioned on it, it's starting to slow down a little bit, but when the rain hits and come and goes, keeps us pretty busy, so I imagine a couple more mows will be probably done for the season, just guessing. Still cleaning up catch basins like usual. Been putting up some new signs. Right, we haven't got our tiger signs in yet, but these are mostly signs that are getting run over by vehicles.
We still haven't gotten those yet.
No, the reason we don't have them is because of the 3M film.
Okay.
They got to put the 3M film on the tiger sign or it fades to white. And I guess there's some kind of shortage in that film. Because I talked to him extensively on the phone, or we did, me and Lana, and kind of figure out what was the holdup, why is everybody else getting them? And he said hopefully they don't fade on them. So
Gotcha.
That's what our holdup is anyway. We still staying pretty busy dropping off the barricades for all the events through the city. It's slowing down a little bit, obviously. It's getting later in the year. Our next brush week will be October 11th through the 17th. So I ask everybody to be ready for that. After that, it's going to be pretty hit and miss because of the leaf season, picking up. So we'll just have to go from there. We would like to also to thank Tanya Thayer and them for their help. They purchased us some chainsaw safety chaps. So last year they come to us with some money. We got some back braces. So this year we try to approach her and be like, if we're going to do that again, we'd like to get some of the chaps. I don't know if you've ever seen them, but you can basically put them on and turn on a chainsaw and put it on the guy's leg, and it just stalls out the chainsaw and doesn't hurt the people at all. The chaps are obviously ruined, but so now we can wear those whenever the guys are cutting. They know they need them on. So
Good.
yeah, I'd rather ruin a pair of chaps than somebody's leg. So that's for sure. We did have to do some electrical work there at the back shop in the garage. Threw some sparks out. Adams Electric came out and fixed it for us. So it's just getting old, What can you say?
Just a little bit longer.
Yeah. We're trying to get everything up and ready for the 2021 leaf season as well. We haven't really gung-ho got into that yet, but we're starting to get our, we'll have our machines, they were serviced, so they're ready to rock and roll. We just got to get everything reeling again and hooked back up. We are, I guess, going back to kind of the electrical thing. We're kind of excited for the fourth quarter to hit so we can get our building out for bid and get that financial figured out. And I know they got quite a bit of time on the buildings and stuff, but we're not too worried about it because they still got to move a lot of dirt and that kind of stuff. So that'll be good. Do want to remind everybody that Friday and Saturday is fall cleanup. So and this year it only runs till noon on Saturday. So that's kind of a big change. It usually runs till 4. So definitely, if you miss it, don't leave your stuff at the shop. We get, we don't want it. We don't want to come in and not be able to get into the shop. So.
When does it start, Dave? You said
7 to 4.
7 to 4. It's
Friday, 7 to noon Saturday.
Yeah.
hopefully we have good weather, it looks like we could, so get rid of a lot of people's trash that way. And it's, the only thing we don't take is obviously electronics. No televisions will be accepted because it's e-waste. No chemicals, no hazardous waste, no oil paint, nothing like that. They can bring latex paint. You just take the lid off, fill it with kitty litter, leave the lid off and let it harden, then they'll take it. The only reason they don't take it wet is because, if they mash it in their garbage truck, then it's strung all through town. So they just ask you to let it dry up. And even if you miss cleanup, you can do that on a regular basis. You can let it dry up and then they'll take it. So they don't leave streaks of paint through town. But that's not good. But we do take, a lot of people get confused. We do take, refrigerators and all that kind of stuff. You don't have to drain the stuff out of them. We throw them in the metal bins and Ray's takes them away. And washer and dryers, anything like that, compressors. We've had golf carts, believe it or not, but you name it, we take it other than the e-waste stuff.
Okay.
And that's all I got.
Thank you, Dave. Any questions for Dave? Go, Dave.
That's this weekend, right?
Yeah, starts Friday.
Starts Friday?
Yep, and then Saturday.
Okay.
Any questions from the board? Any questions from the public? Okay. Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
All right, and last but not least, pinch hitter for Joe, Matt Reynolds with the Communications Community Development Department.
Appreciate it.
Planning?
Joe's got his attendance duty tonight, so I'm going to jump in for him. First up, the city submitted to the Indiana Arts Council's Creative Community Pathway Grant Program, and pleased to announce that the city has been awarded $5,000 that will be used towards the establishment of an arts district for our community. The program focuses on art, artists, cultural development within the community, and the funds can be used for a variety of different ways, including marketing and promotion, staffing, access to cultural resources. So keep your eyes and ears out for some more information on a new cultural district for the city of Lebanon coming soon. The Tiger Trail continues to be very popular amongst tiger seekers of all ages. The checklist is complete. It can be picked up in a variety of locations, including printed from the city's website. It's available at the library, the Parks Department office, the Street Department office, as well as in this building, the municipal building. And the completed checklist can be turned into the mayor's office here at 401 South Meridian Street, and you'll get a special Love in Lebanon gift, as well as added to the Tiger Trail Wall of Fame. So something to be excited about. And lastly, the latest episode of the Love in Lebanon podcast is out. If you guys haven't had a chance, I think there's over 70 podcasts that Joe has done. Always entertaining, always informative, focuses on local people, organizations, businesses, events. And like I said, Joe does a very good job of putting these together. And the latest episode is the 1830 Chop House. So a lot of it talk about food, about their culture, about their future, as well as talk about the Under the Lights event, which is the dinner taking place this Saturday on Meridian Street. So that's something fun to look forward to. Hopefully everybody got their tickets, and we look forward to seeing everybody this weekend. And a personal plug again, I talked about the podcast. If you haven't listened to them, like I said, they're very well produced, as well as all the videos that Joe does. I think we may take Joe's work for granted a little bit, but the amazing production quality of the videos he does, both on the website, on the Facebook page, on all the social media channels. I take some time, watch some of the videos, listen to the podcast. It's well worth it. And that's all I've got.
Thanks, Matt. Any questions for Matt? Any questions for the public?
How could I find myself on brand new, up and coming business and then
Sure. For those at home that couldn't hear, the question was how could you get involved with the podcast or get on an episode? We'll get you in contact. Joe LePage is the one that takes care of that, our community development and communications director for the city. And we'll get you contact the mayor's office, and we'll get right to Joe, or I can get you his business card before the end of the night. You're welcome.
Okay. Thank you very much. Thanks, Matt. Thanks for filling in. Okay, that concludes department head reports. Move on to old business. I don't have anything on my agenda. Is there anything from the board? No. Okay, new business then. First item up is a rolling street closure request for the Lebanon High School Parade. Kendra Whipke, are you in the audience? Please step forward.
Hello, my name is Josephine Morrison. I'm one of the students at the Lebanon Senior High School, and this is
Hello, I'm Ben Wascom. I'm the Vice President for the Student Council at the high school.
We would like to request a road closure on October 1st from around like 5 to 6 for our annual homecoming parade. This is really big this year. I know a lot of the like local police departments, the Lebanon Fire Department have offered to come and be in the parade this year. It's an annual thing. We do it every year except for those COVID years. So we're really trying to make it big this year. We'd only be closing down Ullin, that road just by the park, from, let's just say 5 to 6. Not for very long, just enough to get the class like floats and all of our other added vehicles around, just to, you know, brighten it up.
Because you go outer drive, down, you go through the park as well?
Yes.
Okay, so through the park and then out Ullin, down Meridian, and then Tiger Way back to high school, right?
Yes.
Okay. Same route as before. So.
How far down Meridian?
Just to my corner.
That's okay.
No, Tiger Way.
Or Tiger Way.
Tiger Way.
Yeah.
Okay. Any questions for the presenter? Okay. This time then I would entertain a motion to approve the street closure request for the homecoming parade on October 1st from about roughly 5 to 6 p.m. On outer Ullin Drive, Meridian, and Tiger Way.
I'll make a motion, we approve the rolling street closure for the Lebanon High School homecoming parade.
We have a motion to approve. Is there a second?
Second.
Motion and a second. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? All right, that is approved. Thank you, guys.
Okay, thank you.
All right, next up, another street closure request for the Heart of Lebanon, Missy Krillick.
Good evening. Back again for another street closure for another event. So we've had a pretty successful year in our events. So this one is, I'll put this on the projector. There we go. Well, so Mischief on Meridian. This year we'll have a vortex tunnel, a trunk or treat. We have live music, a Halloween train, a costume contest, and so much more. So that event is Saturday, October 30th from 5 to 8 p.m. And then our special needs friends are invited at 4:30 to come down to the square to our Mischief on Meridian. So with this event, it's our largest attended event, usually in the thousands. So we are going back to the downtown format this year. Last year we had the parade, and then this year we feel like we got enough outdoor space that we can bring the community back downtown and provide a safe environment. So this is the street closure that I'm asking for on October 30th from 3 p.m. to 9 p.m. And I'm asking for Meridian Street from Main Street all the way to North Street. If you can see it's kind of glossy. You can see my map here. We will have a Halloween train that'll run through the alley next to the county building and Castle Hall, and it'll go through the alley and back around. So it'll be a decorated Halloween train so they can get on board and go see some Halloween scenes. So we'll need all the way to North closed for that part of the event. And then Washington Street from Lebanon to East Street. So we'll have trunk or treating, we'll have the vortex tunnel, and some other kids events along Washington Street. And then Main Street from Lebanon Street to the alley east of the Pocket Park. That way people can come in and out of the city parking lot and some access to parking there. So, and then of course we'll have more trick or treating and more kids activities along that area. And then along Meridian Street we'll have our live music. So lots of things to set up. but a fun event for the community.
So the event's from 3 to 9, or you want the street closure starting at 3?
Street closure from 3 to 9.
Okay.
The event's from 5 to 8.
Okay, perfect.
United Street, okay.
Any questions for Missy from the board? Okay. I would entertain a motion then to approve the street closure request as presented for the Mischief on Meridian event.
I make a motion, we approve the street closure as presented for October the 30th from 3 to 9 p.m.
Okay, we have a motion, is there a second?
Second.
Motion, second from Alan. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? All right, that is approved. Thank you, Missy. Should be a great event. Okay, next up, bid approval for the Memorial Park Playground construction. John?
Good evening again. Yes, I'm here tonight to ask for approval for subsurface of Indiana. That was a bid that we had a sealed bid in a couple weeks ago for approval of $142,824 for the playground site work, pending legal review and funding.
Any questions for John on this? Okay, then I would entertain a motion to approve the bid from Indiana, Subsurface of Indiana, pending final legal review and council appropriation of funds.
I'll make a motion, we approve the bid for the Memorial Park Playground construction, subject to council funding and legal review.
We have a motion, is there a second?
Second.
Motion and a second, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? All right, that is approved.
Thank you.
Thank you, John, looking forward to that project going forward. Okay, next up, authorization for RFP for construction inspection services to reconstruct Grant Street and Washington Street to Fordyce Street.
Thank you once again. Yeah, I mentioned this earlier. This is an RFP that we would like your authorization to issue for construction inspection, or as NDOT would refer to it, construction engineering services associated with the Grant Street project for the reconstruction of Grant Street from Washington Street to the intersection of Fordyce. So this, the RFP that I sent out, we've already got some comments back from NDOT. One, I only had 3 weeks of response time there. They wanted that to be a minimum of 30 days. So the only changes really is that we are extending that response date to November 1st, which would mean, I think you see it on November 8th would be your first meeting in November, which, so I will be looking to receive those packages on the 1st and then have a recommendation for you on the 8th. So again, just looking for your authorization to issue this RFP.
Any questions for Kevin on that? Okay, then, would entertain a motion to approve that Kevin seek RFP responses for the construction inspection services on Grant Street.
I'll make a motion, we authorize the advertisement for the RFP for construction inspection services for the Grant Street project.
Okay, we have a motion, is there a second?
Second.
Motion and a second, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? All right, those are approved. Kevin? Still you, change orders number 6 and 7, DC Construction Resurfacing Program.
Yeah, these are the first of two. There'll be a few of these. These are just a series of change orders to correct to final quantities. You probably remember this was a unit price-based contract. So all we are doing is where we had legitimate overruns, we are going to go in and just correct those to the final quantities, because obviously we can't pay above and beyond what the contract totals were. So change order number 6 is picking up some additional sidewalk work that was required on projects 9, 11, and 16 for a total of $3,547.16. And change order 7 is picking up, there was a 48.69 extra tons of asphalt needed to complete the work in the alleys between Meridian, Chicago, Williams, and State Road 39. So I got change order 6 for $3,547.16. Change order 7 for $4,917.69. Again, just to correct from estimated quantities to actual filled, measured, and verified quantities.
How much was the asphalt, Kevin?
The asphalt was 4917.69.
Any other questions for Kevin on that? Then I would entertain a motion to approve change orders 6 and 7 for the street resurfacing program.
I make a motion, we approve the change order 6 and 7 for DC Construction Street Resurfacing Program.
We have a motion, is there a second?
Second.
Motion and a second, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Alan?
You know,
Those
while
opposed?
I'm here, I will let you know that, we are actually, when we clean up all these quantities, the 29 total projects, we're going to finish about $175,000 below our contract value. So again, these quantities were above, and we have to change order to allow the clerk treasurer's office to pay that, but there's a lot of quantities that actually finished under. And at the end of the day, we will have about $175,000 in savings, which will cover the roughly $142,000 that we spent to add in the Northfield neighborhood, Syracuse Drive, Syracuse Court, Garfield Drive, those resurfacings where the city opted to step in on the Lebanon Utilities water main project that was just going to patch the street and resurface the entire street. So all in all, we're doing really well, even though you're going to see some change orders doing some increases. What you don't see are the change orders that would be negative change orders. So that's all I have. Thank you.
Thank you, Kevin. We removed item G from the agenda, but we will have, next up is the road closure request for the Fordyce Sanitary Sewer Construction for Cedar Ridge.
Thank you for this last minute ad late Friday. We got a call from the contractor basically saying that there was no viable way for him to really build that crossing per the plans, which were to do it under traffic. It's just too deep, and it's just not safe for him or his people or the traveling public to try to maintain a level or a lane of traffic around that excavation. So what they are asking for is a road closure of up to no more than 4 days. They assure me it won't take that long, but you never know what's going to happen when you're working in the ground like that. And they will post warning signage 48 hours prior to that closure, which would probably happen later in the week or first of next week, just depending on a lot of things on their progress across Sanitary. But again, this would be for a full closure of Fordyce Road between Edgewood Drive and Morningside. It would be for up to a 4-day closure, provided the contractor will properly sign and notice for that closure, and also sign a detour route. So just asking for your permission to grant that closure.
So just to clarify, will you be able to access Edgewood from Fordyce, or is it further east than that?
Correct. So you will be able to access Edgewood, you will be able to access Morningside Drive, you will be able to access Sanitary from their east entrance. So you will just not be able to cross basically just west of their westerly entrance, which is about right where the sewer comes across. So that entrance would be closed, but they will maintain access to all those properties at all time, but you won't be able to drive through there. So if you're coming westbound on Fordyce, when you cross Morningside, you'll see a road closed ahead sign, and warning people that that's sort of your last chance to turn around. Same thing, this time we're going to put the warning signs on at Fordyce and Grant to keep people from trying to turn down that area. But open to local traffic, you just will not be able to drive through.
So if you live in Morningside, you just would have to use John Bart.
Yeah.
Yeah, thank
For a
you.
couple
Yeah,
days.
to put it plainly, yeah, if you live in Morningside, you need to plan on entering and exit your neighborhood from John Bart Road. Edgewood would still enter and exit off of Grant Street or Edgewood Drive in Fordyce.
Yeah, those homes that are across the street on the south side from Centenary, that's not an issue. They'd still be able, you said you're going to close it at Morningside, but they'll still have access to get out and go east.
Correct. The two homes, I believe, that have driveways onto Fordyce, they'll still be able to get out of their driveway. They'll just need to drive east over to John Bart Road if they're leaving the area.
And I missed it, but was there a time or a days, or is this sort of fluid as far as when they're going to do this?
It would be no more than 4 days, and they would provide posted signage 48 hours to the start of that.
And that's next week, right?
It could be late this week or early next week. It's
Okay.
just going to depend on their off-site progress.
Any questions for the board on that? Okay. Would entertain a motion then to approve the road closure request on Fordyce Road in regards to the sanitary sewer construction in Cedar Ridge project as presented.
I'll make a motion to authorize the road closure of Fordyce Street from Morningside to Edgewood Drive for 4 days only.
With notice. Okay. We have a motion to approve. Is there a second?
Second.
Motion and a second. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? Okay, that road closure request is approved. I had a thought up here when we were talking about Mischief on Meridian. Obviously, it's almost October, and we haven't officially set the trick-or-treat hours for Lebanon, and I know sometimes people get anxious about that. So I wanted to add that to the agenda tonight, and want to make a motion to set the trick-or-treat hours for Sunday, October 31st, from 6 to 9 p.m. On Halloween, as we always do. So with that, would entertain a motion from the board.
I make a motion, we approve the trick-or-treat hours for Sunday, October the 31st, from 6 to 9.
Okay, we have a motion. Is there a second?
Second.
Motion, I think it was Judge Clear. Motion second. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? All right, we are approved. Now, if anybody sees it on social media, you can tell them they've officially been set for Halloween, 6 to 9. Okay, with that, would entertain a motion concerning the claims.
I move we approve the claims.
Motion to approve the claims from Alan. Is there a second?
Second.
Second from Bill. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? Any general public comment at this time concerning these issues? Okay. With that, then, I would entertain a motion to adjourn.
Make a motion, we adjourn.
We have a motion to adjourn. Is there a second?
Second.
Motion and a second. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? All right, our next meeting will be October 12th at 5:30 PM.
Tuesday, yeah.
Tuesday, yes, Tuesday, October 12th, because of the Columbus Day. Thank you. City Council's up next.
Tuesday.